The ASBO's window tint will also slightly tint the headlight housing regardless of what color you've made the housing itself. This is only a slight tint and doesn't fully darken the headlights even if you have the limo window tint on. However, it would darken the tail lights, which go completely black with the darkest tint. And that's just one fact for one of the compact cars in GTA 5. But there are 19 compact cars, so here's 18 more facts about every single one. When driving the Ballista in first person view, if you look down towards the right front wheel and turn sharply, you'll notice that the wheel will actually clip slightly through the inside of the vehicle. This is most visible with off-road wheels when turning in a circle over bumps. The Ballista is also featured in various Jiffy Rent adverts around the map, though the Dinka logo cannot be seen on the grille of the car, implying that it was likely a beta model. The Ballista Canjo has a unique window net modification, which isn't available for many vehicles. However, when applying this modification, it will prevent you from using or selecting any weapons inside the car, including your fists. Meaning you can't shoot, throw things, or flip people off from inside this vehicle if you have that modification installed. Another bonus fact is that the Ballista Canjo's largest spoiler appears to be bolted onto the body of the vehicle, but if you open the trunk of this vehicle, you'll notice that that was completely false, and instead it's only attached to the trunk itself. The Brioso 300 has a customization option called Full Top Down, where the entire roof and rear window are removed. However, if you shoot, roll, damage, or rear-end this vehicle, the glass for the rear window will still shatter in place, showing that despite the fact it's been removed and is invisible, it still exists on the vehicle. On top of that, certain bumper options will actually intersect with the trunk when you try and open it. Or, I guess that's the hood. As for the Brioso 300 widebody, it's one of the first vehicles in the franchise to have multiple layouts available for the engine. As stock, the engine is located in the rear of the vehicle like the regular Brioso 300, but you can customize this to put the engine in the front, which will leave the back for the intercooler. However, if you severely damage this vehicle by throwing it off of Mount Chiliad, shooting it, and just generally treating it like shit, you'll notice that the smoke and fire will emit from the rear end of the vehicle regardless on where you put the engine. Now, if you damage the Brioso RA in a similar fashion, you'll notice that even if the trunk is open, it cannot break off. Every other panel for this vehicle will eventually break off, but no matter how hard I tried, I could not get the trunk to detach from the vehicle. The club has some of the most sticker bombing options of any vehicle in the game. However, the sticker bomb options on the doors and the trunk will disappear completely when you detach those body panels. This isn't the case, however, for its hood or if you have the sticker bomb livery applied to the vehicle. On top of that, the rear quarter windows can be removed and plastered with carbon or sticker bombing options, but if you shoot these or damage them, the glass will still shatter like normal, as it's visible on the inside of the vehicle. The Dilettante has a small, almost unnoticeable dent on its front bumper. If you look closely, you can see the light reflect over this slight imperfection. As for the Dilettante Patrol, the dent is still there, but this vehicle's social club listing has incorrectly listed the vehicle as purchasable or buyable, despite the fact that we've never been able to buy or own this vehicle in GTA Online. As you probably already noticed, this video is one of a larger series that I'm doing where I'm covering every single class and giving you one fact for every car in that class. We've already covered supers, coupes, sports classics, sedans, SUVs, and just a few days ago we covered muscle cars. So if you want to know more interesting facts about the cars in those classes, check out the links in the description. And if you want early access to the next class that I decide to do, consider becoming a member for only a few dollars a month. Getting back into it, if the player steals Tracy's Issy as Franklin or Trevor, Michael will text the player saying that's my daughter's car. The text is also received if you drive any other stolen Issy near Michael's house. Now this doesn't happen every time, but it does happen, which is odd considering it's not Tracy's car. On top of that, a model called Issy 2 was originally supposed to be in the game, and it's believed that it was likely a hardtop version of the car. The ISSI Classic is a target in one of the business battles in online. It's lime green with a secondary black color, and it has a custom number plate C607287R, which is a reference to Mr. Bean's iconic Mini, as well as 2 number plates it was registered under. For example, C607 is the first half of the number plate and was used in the 1997 movie Bean, while 287R was the second half of the number plate and was used for the majority of the original TV series. The Apocalypse ISSI will still allow the player to switch into passive mode if they have the turret installed on the rear end of the vehicle, but you have to make sure that you have no other weapons on the vehicle when you do this. The Future Shock ISSI is the only ISSI to have rear and side glass, even though it still doesn't have the rear quarter panels. However, if you tint the windows, only the rear window will be tinted, and the driver and passenger windows will not be touched at all. On top of that, the futuristic exhaust has 4 exhaust ports seen under the vehicle, but will only emit smoke and backfire from 3 locations, making it slightly misaligned on the middle. Finally, the Nightmare ISSI has hood glass that's tinted any color you want. The glass or plastic within the hoods where you can see the engine are actually attached to the secondary color of the vehicle, so you can apply any color you want, which will appear as a tint. However, when you open the hood, you'll notice that these holes on almost every one of these hoods is not visible from the inside of the hood, and they appear to be one directional, with no sign of them on the inside. For the Panto, if you install the roll cage and chassis upgrade modification, it can cause the stock exhaust to stop emitting fumes. This also occasionally happens with other shorter exhausts, but any of the more unique ones will continue to function normally. On top of that, when you apply the sticker bomb trunk option, the license plate is slightly tilted to the left. I'm not entirely sure if this was intentional, but it bothers me a little bit. The Prairie has a small error on its back end, and if you look really closely, you'll see that the Bolacon emblem is partially cut on both sides, which makes it look a little odd. On top of that, some of its exhausts have incorrect exhaust smoke positioning, as exhaust fumes will come out slightly in front of the exhaust pipe, rather than where they should. The Rhapsody is listed in the original handling files for GTA 5, but it didn't appear in-game until the I'm Not a Hipster update, and it seemed to originally be an all-wheel drive vehicle with a slightly heavier mass and higher top speed, which would be different since it's rear-wheel drive today. And to wrap up the Compacts video, the Weevil has an error when you enter it in first person that will cause the player's camera to tilt slightly to one side. This will happen every time you get into the car, but will not happen when you exit the vehicle. And one more bonus fact about the Weevil is that originally the chrome exhausts and big bore exhausts did not emit smoke or have any backfire effects, making them unfunctional if applied to the vehicle, but this was fixed in later updates. So if you've made it all the way to the end, here's a link to the playlist with every other class.